Proud to be with you today. Good to see you today. To the sick, the shut in, the can't get around is very good. The arthritis done got hold of you. I want to bring a little bit of the book into your living room today, and proud to see you. Jesus said that life is brief, death is sure, and that to every man someday he's going to have to walk down through the valley, the shadow, the death. And we've got to ask ourselves, before he walks, he's going to have to be right here on earth with the rest of us. And who's he going to serve during that time? What's he going to be doing before he walks in the shadow? You can't be a wrinkle in the sheets of Jesus. You can't be drinking from the devil's cup all the time. You're going to have to eat with Jesus to be well fed. And you can't be around criminalizing your children, beating up on your children, knocking your wife around. And you might ask yourself, what brought this up today? I'll tell you what brought it up. I read in the paper today a man had been, oh yeah, it's hard on him. Sure, things are hard on the job. He's uptight, gets wrought up a little bit, can't sort things out. He comes home, the little boy runs up to him and says, Daddy, pap. Hits a little baby like that, knocks his wife around when the food ain't ready. And I'm tired of hearing about it. And I think those of you out there, when we look around, we know what Jesus said, and we especially know what Jesus said about the little children. And he made it clear to us. The message is clear in this book, and this is the only book that you need. The message is clear, and the penalties are stiff. Jesus one time was giving an important talk. All of his talks were important. And all the adults that gathered around like this, they got up close because they couldn't hear him, and so they got real close. There wasn't no microphones back then. There wasn't no way to get up and hear him, so they got close to him to hear every word he could say. And out in the crowd, there was a little boy, a little crippled boy, had his sister with him, and he got to think, he said, well, I wonder, could I get up to see Jesus? Could I get up and talk to Jesus a little bit maybe? And he began to sneak his way up and began to edge up close a little like that. And he got up close, and one of the disciples saw him like that, and he reached out and kind of pushed him down like that. Right that second, Jesus looked around and said, hey, what you doing? Get that child up here right now, Jesus said, and he rebuked him right then. He took him and he rebuked him immediately, and he said, don't corrupt a child. Don't be pushing a child around like this and de-innocentizing a child in any way. Don't tear down the love that I put in a child. And he rebuked him and he told him right then. He said it'd be better for you to tie a millstone around your neck and sink to the bottom of the sea rather than confront me after you've corrupted a child. And Jesus got angry then. And for the children of you out there that are listening, I want you to know that Jesus got mad when someone began to corrupt you and criminalize you a little bit. And yeah, right here in the TV land, there's some of you out there right now that are listening. You know who I'm talking about. You know the ones I'm talking about out there. Abuse their child, evil eyes on their child, bad treat their child. Well, I want to tell you something. Your time will come. Life is brief. Death is sure. And you'll come and you'll be walking down through the valley of the shadow of the death someday. And crawlistic, creepy, snarl, and tearistic, bite, crushing, bone slicing-istic things going to grab up to you. And who's going to be there with you then? Who's going to be there with you? Devil is going to get you. And you're going to be begging and pleading, no, let me have a last chance. You say, okay. He take you up to the gate, and St. Peter looks around. Your name ain't on the book. And you ask around, quick, can't somebody intervene? Please, won't Jesus intervene for me? Well, he could intervene for you. He could save you right then. But he's not going to save you. Because for the child abusers and the criminalizers and the hard spankers, he washes his hand of you. And he says, hey, devil. Yes, sir, Jesus. Take him on down there. I want him to go straight down into, that's right, you know where I'm talking about, don't you? That's right, the chitlin pit of hell. And that's what's going to happen to you. You think nobody's looking. But when you get up there, there's no plea bargaining. There's no technical acquittals when you get to St. Peter's gate Oh, down here, sure, down here where we are, yeah. Fancy lawyers driving Mercedes, drive the BMW up to the courthouse, get you out, go in there, tell the judge some trick thing, some little deal to pull you back out of the way. Well, when you get up there, if your name ain't on the book, you're not going through. And I'm tired of reading about it, and I'm tired of hearing about it. It's a blue chip sin to take advantage of a child, to corrupt a child, to use a child, to perverse advantages in any way, and Jesus has warned us. And for those of you out there, let it be a warning what he said, and start changing your ways, because you don't think that he sees what you're doing, but he does. Don't do it no more. Your time will come, and when you walk down through the valley of the shadow of the death, you want at least a little bit of Jesus with you. If it's not but that much of Jesus in your heart, you want a little bit of him in there with you. Because if you don't have none of him in your heart, there's no chance for you. So I want you to remember what I said. I want you to start looking at this book some. Remember the messages in here. And you got to remember what Jesus said about children, that you have to be as a little child to enter the gates of heaven. And if you can't be born again and have the innocence of a child in your heart, you will not be in the kingdom. So when you get there, I want it to be so when you walk down through the valley that the first thing you see are the little children that come out to greet you and take you in and say, hey, Jesus is waiting for you. Come on inside. You don't want devil to be holding your IOUs. So to the sick, the shut in out there, that couldn't get here today, proud to be with you through the TV land. Proud to send this message to you today. We'll see you next time. Pleased to be with you. Pleased to be with you. Good. All right.